Well, howdy doody, friendo. How are you? I hope you had an absolutely wonderful Thanksgiving long weekend. If you were in this part of North America, even though Thanksgiving's still kind of a weird holiday for a lot of reasons, it's mostly exciting to sit around with your family, friends, consume a whole lot of carbs, and hopefully watch just an obscene amount of hockey, which is exactly what we are going to dive into right now on Game on Hockey here on the Game Over Network. My name is Graham Mosimann, and oh boy, there are so many stories to get through. We're just going to do a quick run through of some of the scores you may have missed if you were off doing some family stuff yesterday, as we had the Devils finally give Utah their very first loss as a franchise, sweeping them 3-0. Senators had an absolutely wild game against the Kings, taking them down 8-7 in overtime. Panthers over the Bruins 4-3. Rangers over the Wings 4-1. Penguins over the Habs 6-3. Really fun Game Over Montreal show on that one. You can go find that over on Game Over Montreal. Andrew was fired up. It was a lot of fun. And then the Islanders took down the Avalanche by a count of 6-2. So that was just everything that happened on Monday. Sunday was also kind of a weird one, with the Ducks losing, unsurprisingly, to the Golden Knights by a couple of goals. Golden Knights taking that one 3-1. The Stars taking down the Kraken 2-0, and the Jets beating the Wild 2-1. Jets and the Flames, two of the really surprise early 3-0 teams across the league right now. And the Flames taking down the Oilers 4-1. And things here in Edmonton are shockingly calm for being an 0-3 team. Now, if you're not plugged into the Edmonton market, it can get a little bit weird here, and we'll go more in depth on this one on Game on Edmonton, which you can go find right now over on the Game Over Edmonton feed, wherever you get your podcasts, or over on YouTube. And Edmonton, I think you've stopped, for fans, we can't be disappointed anymore. Now, I'm an Oilers fan. If you're watching this on YouTube, I got Oilers jerseys and a bunch of Oilers stuff behind me right now, so I'm not going to hide my partisanship over this one, but it is fascinating to see how little the Oilers players seem bothered by this 0-3 start. Got to clean up some stuff. Some rough practice habits have been brought up. And let's face it, they coasted their way through the preseason. They didn't even try for a lot of games, and that's absolutely coming back to bite them. We'll see how they end up taking on a team that they really should beat in the Philadelphia Flyers. That game tonight, as Matvei Michkov makes his way to Edmonton for the very first time. But let's turn over to the Calgary Flames for a sec, because this is a team that wasn't supposed to make it by any real sense. They really weren't. This was kind of a rebuilding team. They had traded away some of their big pieces in Andrew Mangiapane and Jacob Markstrom, and it was going to be just like, all right, Calgary, go hang out, play your little hockey games, and then come back and see how it goes, see where you get a lottery pick. But it's really fascinating to watch that team as an Oilers fan, because the Flames are should be good, and they should be much better than they have been for so long. But because they had so many years in a row where Edmonton kind of kicked the pants off them in that one playoff series from a couple years ago, it kind of choked all the hope out of that franchise, or at least you think it would. Full credit to Ryan Huska for being able to put together a team that does all the things that you wanted a Daryl Sutter coach Flames team to do, but without all the garbage that comes along from being a team that's coached by Daryl Sutter. So full marks to the Flames for doing that. I really thought they were going to go into this season with Rasmus Andersson just being the big kind of, oh, wait till he see him gets traded kind of guy. But that's not looking like the case if they keep playing this well. And I mean, they're not going to go 82-0. Like, that'd be silly pants. But if they keep putting things together, you might not see Rasmus Andersson ending up at number 1 on the Athletic trade bait board, like I think a lot of people really thought was going to happen coming into the season. Now, Winnipeg Jets are one of the other kind of surprise 3-0 teams, and they've been kind of such a fascinating team to watch over the last couple of years, because for all accounts, I mean, they shouldn't be as good as they kind of have been. I mean, yeah, when you have Connor Hellebuyck, you can win a lot of games, but you had all the stuff with Blake Wheeler and the captaincy there, and then all those kind of bad vibes around the team, plus the Pierre-Luc Dubois disaster of a trade away. A trade for, excuse me. I mean, when he got brought in, just you could tell immediately that he wasn't going to fit well. And God, man, absolutely full credit to Winnipeg being able to put together a trade to send PLD off to LA for his terrible couple years, and getting in guys like Gabe Vilardi, who've been just absolutely integral to this Winnipeg Jets team being really good. It's been really cool to watch. I'm a little biased. I lived in Winnipeg for a bit, and I want that team to be good. It does get a little bit worrisome, though, especially when last season you saw, with even as incredible as a regular season as they were having, that team not having regular sellouts, and there being a lot of very cheap seats available in that building, which is the smallest in the NHL by a pretty wide margin. But if they... Winnipeg's such a funny town. If you can grab momentum and hang on to it, that team will and that city will ride with you for as much as they can. But if you start to waver and you start to lose it, they're going to move on. And this seems crazy to say, but the Winnipeg Jets absolutely have competition in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the CFL. That's something that's not true in pretty much any other Canadian market or any other market, period. I mean, NHL teams in the States definitely compete with the NFL. Heck, some Canadian teams compete with the NFL. Looking at you, Vancouver. But the Jets have such an odd relationship with the city of Winnipeg compared to a team like the Blue Bombers, because frankly, the Blue Bombers never left. And the Blue Bombers, if you're not like a CFL person, they've kind of been like the Kansas City Chiefs for the last couple of years. And a lot of people have been spending their money on going to Bombers games and buying Bombers merch in a way that you haven't really seen happen for the Jets, even though you had that big rush of excitement when the team first came back. So if you want to find out more on each of those teams, make sure to check out Game Over Calgary, as well as Game Over Winnipeg after each of those teams' games. The hosts in those markets can really, really dive into what's going on there. It's we have such a cool and great creative team across the Game Over network, and those shows are really good, and I hope you go check them out soon if you haven't. I think we're going to wrap it up right there, because it was a long weekend. We all did a lot of family stuff, and we're going to have to fight to kind of get back up to regular speed. So that'll do it for today's edition on October 15th here of Game On Hockey. My name's Graham Mosimann. If you liked this, please give it a like on the video. If you really liked it, please subscribe to not just this channel if you're watching us on YouTube, but all the channels across the Game Over network. From Vancouver to Montreal, every Canadian market is covered. We keep you up to date on all the hockey we can, and not just in our local markets, but across the NHL. If you want to find out more exclusively about any of the teams, you can find their podcast feeds in Game On, insert market name, in all of our markets across Canada. Have yourself a great day and a great week. That'll do it for this edition of Game On Hockey here on the Game Over Network.